Welcome to the Geeks Assembled podcast. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Hello, we are Geeks Assembled and we have gathered here once again, and tonight we're going to be talking about the second episode of Series 11, which is titled The Ghost Monument. Another one written by Chris Chibnall and with the 13th Doctor. So let's jump straight in. Let's go to the green room with Brian. Over to the green room, Brian. What did you make of The Ghost Monument?
It's not a green room. Anyway, my thoughts on the Ghost Monument are pretty good. I just finished watching this episode. I enjoyed and liked and loved every minute of it. Jodie Whittaker is just, I think, killing it as the Doctor. I really enjoy her as the Doctor, and she's really pulling it off, I think. And with this story, I think it seems to me like with this story and with the series that they've been having so far, it seems to be a bit darker, and like with these two episodes that they just had, and the new, because tonight it's a new showrunner and it's the series, it's gone a bit dark, and I really enjoy and like that it's doing that. I really, because they haven't really done anything dark with Doctor Who except with a couple stories at a time in the past, but if they keep going within this direction with the show, I think it would be a good little thing in progress for the series, and so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a little bit, I thought the new little creative aspects of the like with the ghost things, like with the sheets.
Oh, the rags, the sheets, yeah.
I thought that was cool. I thought that it kind of was like a like I feel like a kind of sort of thing that you would see in like Classical. So I really enjoyed that, but I feel like Whittaker's Doctor was using the sonic way too much in this episode. I don't, that was the only nitpick thing I would say about this episode. And seeing the TARDIS at the end, the new outside and also the new inside of it, I thought it was pretty darn cool of a design for a TARDIS. It's like a whole crystallized type of TARDIS inside. Everything's like all crystal-like. And I really, really enjoyed it. Am I not mistaken, though, is within one of the two little gadgets in the TARDIS is the shaping of the police box, and when she pulled the last design in, like I guess was leather. What was it that came out? Was it a cookie, a candy?
A custard cream. I don't know if you have them in America. I don't know. I doubt it. Custard creams are lovely.
But I guess every time she tries the TARDIS, she gets a piece of candy.
It's not candy. It's a biscuit, dear. It's a biscuit.
Oh,
custard cream.
Oh, biscuit, whatever. So.
It's got no custard in, though.
It's what we call a cookie. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a cookie, but we call cookies biscuits.
Well, I guess she gets a cookie then every time she flies the TARDIS somewhere, which will be good. But no, I really enjoyed this episode. It's probably going to be a whole lot of good episodes like these within the new series if it heads within this direction. So I really hope it does.
What happened then? What did you go? Did you click the wrong button? I thought, what was going on there? I just suddenly got off. Let's go to Beef Dad. If Brian's finished, I think he is.
Excellent episode. Absolute brilliant resolution of the cliffhanger from last week, where two spacemen, a spaceman and a spacewoman, both racing to get a lot of money. Absolutely brilliant. And the performances by both of them were superb. And of course you had Aunt Malik as Helen, and he is just so superbly creepy at times. And I love his tent. I think his tent is brilliant. It also moves in space, in dimensions, I presume, because of the way it disappears. And I love that idea that a tent can do that. But yeah, Jodie Whittaker, loved her this week. She was just brilliant. She is really getting the Doctor, making it her own, and there's real character there. And it is also within the parameters of the Doctor. They're not going mentally on her being a female Doctor. She's a Doctor, and if there's a problem, she works it out. And yeah, okay, she used the sonic a few times, but that was necessary for. I love that. There's a big door there. It's locked. I love big doors that are locked. I mean, that was brilliant, and that was real Doctor Who stuff. The remnants, they call them, the pieces of thing, that was superb, and the way that they were dealt with was just brilliant. Also, the way that the robots in the ruins were dealt with was also superb. It was just very, very cleverly written, brilliantly acted by the whole cast. I mean, not just, but I mean, Bradley Walsh, Tosin Cole and Mandip Gill, they were all really, really good and totally believable and forming an absolutely wonderful team now. And all of them are beginning to believe in the Doctor, which is what you expect from the TARDIS team. So yeah, it's all going very well.
And that's what she says in the end. She says at the very end, start believing, when she's running towards the TARDIS. Yeah. Let's go to Susan and Alex.
Well, hello. This is the second episode is brilliant. I'm enjoying this series. I thought the remnants reminded me of anime, those dangerous anime ribbons that, you know, magical creatures use to kill other creatures in Japanese folklore and anime. They have ribbon creatures that are actually the ribbons, and so I thought that really harkened well And I like the robots. I like robots on most instances. And so that was fun. And I like the Ghost Monument. I love that early in the episode, they knew that they were running towards the TARDIS. So she was, she was focused on getting back to the TARDIS, but she also knew that if they made it, that the TARDIS would be there to, help them from then on, because it's always safer in the TARDIS, almost, unless you're a Cyberman in certain episodes. But it works out for the most part every time that the TARDIS is safety. And it's cool. It's a spooky October thing to call it, the Ghost Monument. And I like that the guy who was like, I've won this race, and I'm going to support this race, and we're going to have it be the very last one. And that it's just weird that he put him on a planet that was almost impossible. And I also like the boat scene, but I'll do my favorite moments later. Here's Alex.
Okay. I mean, I guess they have to do an episode like this. I did like the dialogue. I liked it a lot better than the actual plot. It's okay. It is good that they're having the friends, as they call them. I did like companions. Yeah, I mean, obviously they have to change the show. I didn't like the TARDIS interior, actually. So, yeah, I sort of agree with people that it wasn't exactly well written. But again, it's condensed Doctor Who. They have to they have more characters to write about as well, as opposed to the other episodes or the recent episodes. Art Malik is one of the classics. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I remember seeing him in the Adam Dalgliesh story. I think it was Cover of Face, I think it was. And I know that he was in The Living Daylights, so it was nice to see him again.
James Bond.
Yep. Well, yeah, Timothy Dalton, which, as we know, is Rassilon the Spitting One. But in any case, yeah, I didn't like the plot too much. I did like the characters. I did like the dialogue. I knew that the TARDIS was going to arrive, so that didn't really surprise me. I did enjoy Bradley Walsh's character finally having a little faith. And, of course, for contrast, they had to show a character that was even more jaded and warped than he was. And, it's all very, my mother kind of let me break my ankle. So it's kind of like, geez, guys, I understand it's a race, and if you're trying to illustrate somebody being cutthroat, you've done it with this character too much. But that's okay. I mean, they sort of had their moral come out toward the end, and that's fine. And like I said, I didn't really like the plot. I like the dialogue and the characters better than I like the plot. But it is, they have to change the show, and that's what it's about. And they have to have more friends or companions, as I like to say. And they have to change the Doctor, and it's more, let me take care of it in 15 or 20 minutes type of thing. And that's what they have to do. It's an hour show. Not even an hour show, so they have to do that. Here's hoping that the other episodes are even better. But like I said, it's not a bad episode. I just would have preferred it written differently.
Yeah, no, for me, this episode is really good because the intro to the episode is amazing. When the ship's crashing, and you've got the companions split up. Yaz is with the Doctor, I think, yep, and Graham is with Ryan. And he's on that ship. And I like it when it's crashing and the Doctor and that are on the planet, and you can see the ship coming down towards them. And then they're running from the ship, which is crashing. But what I also like as well is actually this is an isolated planet. this planet is deserted. They really feel like they're alone, and it feels very isolated. You know, you feel like this planet is desolate, like there's sand everywhere. You know, it does feel like we've gone to an alien planet, and everybody's been, you know, campaigning for Doctor Who and moaning about Doctor Who to go on alien planets, and we're actually on one here, and it's good. It's a solid episode. Chris Chibnall is amazing at writing characters, so it's not a surprise that the two, well, the three guest characters, but really the two main lead ones the Doctor goes on the adventure with, are the most developed, and their backstory, like the what's the name of the villain now? Oh God, you know, Tim Shaw's species. We get a bit of background on that.
The Stenza.
Yeah, the Stenza. That's it. We get a bit of background on that. So but the thing that Brian said about the sonic screwdriver being overused is it's not being used to like solve the plot. That's when I don't like it, to solve the plot. Because like Beef Dad said, the Doctor with the resonance defeats it by using intelligence. She uses her intelligence, you know, to rub the ground, you know, because of the gas below. And then, of course, she lights it by clicking her finger when the match has gone up, when the cigarette. So it's very cleverly done. And I also like the Doctor, once again, saying about guns, because the Doctor's always been against guns. So that's, you know, same old Doctor, you know. So I like that bit. Yeah, it's a pretty solid episode. Is it better than last week's? I don't know. It's different to last week's. It's different.
Are we answering that question, or was that just a rhetorical question for you?
Well, you can answer it if you want.
All right. Well, I think it was. I think the development is there, so I think it's kind of on the same level as last week's, but they're both, you know, quite good.
Yeah, and I also like how Grace isn't forgotten about. Like, it just doesn't forget her. You know, Graham and Ryan have that really good moment together. So I like that just isn't going away. And who knows, that might be brought back up in tomorrow. Yeah, I think it is actually being brought up in tomorrow's episode, from what I've read. So that's good that that's continuing, because that's character development. You know, that's how you write good characters. Yeah, let's go into favourite moments. Let's go back to Brian.
Back to me.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know. All right, let's go to...
Wait, what are we doing again?
What are we talking about?
Favorite moments?
Oh, okay.
Doctor Who, the Ghost Monument.
No. I know we're doing that. I just drew a blank for a second for what was up next. Okay, so favorite moments, I think... Shut up, Alan. It could happen to anyone.
I'm not saying anything. I just said, Brian, favourite moments. You paused to say, what we doing?
So anyway, favorite moments. Favorite moments, I think, would have to be...
You don't know where you are, dear Brian. You've got no idea what's going on.
The first favorite moment, I think, the top first favorite moment would have to be when they show the TARDIS for the very first time at the end of the episode, and you get to see the reveal of what the new TARDIS actually looks like and everything. I think that is my top favorite moment. My third favorite moment...
Wait there, that you've only had one.
Sorry.
This is too...
No, my second favorite moment.
Second favourite. Yes.
Second favorite. Would have to be the gun battle scene.
The Call of Duty bit. You like the Call of Duty bit?
Oh yes, the Call of Duty bit. Yes, and then the Doctor finds a result, which is the EMP blast. I think that is my second, and then my last favorite would probably have to be the is when they actually arrive on the planet and the ship comes crashing down to the planet, and of course Whittaker's doctor says, "Oops," and my bad and everything. So I think those are my favorite moments within the episode.
Yeah, and I like the moment where when they're in the tent towards the beginning of the episode.
Well, actually, that kind of reminded me of the Seventh Doctor episode, like the greatest show on the galaxy.
Just because it's got a tent.
Yeah.
It's completely different, Brian. Any episode of a tent is familiar. Reminded me of the Great British Bake Off, actually. Not that you'd know what that is. You don't even know who Cher is. There's no point in going into the Great British Bake Off. One of my favourite moments, actually, is when Jodie sees the hologram of the TARDIS and just her face just lights up. And she goes, "That'll do." And I love the title of this episode as well. I think this is one of the best titles of an episode in a long time, The Ghost Monument, because really, the TARDIS is the Ghost Monument for many reasons, but it's also the Ghost Monument because it sees ghosts. You know, next week, Rosa Parks and that, they're dead. But next week, tomorrow, they're alive. You know, so the TARDIS sees ghosts because the TARDIS visits people that are dead. Where we are in history, the TARDIS visits people who are long gone. So the ghost machine, the TARDIS really is the ghost machine because it sees ghosts and you can go and visit ghosts. And I love it when she says, "My ghost machine." I love it when she called the TARDIS her ghost machine. It was amazing. That's good beef, Dad. Favourite moments.
You called it her ghost monument, but never mind.
Yeah, ghost monument. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it in the tent when she first sees the TARDIS. I actually really enjoyed traveling through the ruins. That was really good, really exciting, really interesting. And then, of course, saving the guy who was being attacked by one of the remnants. What was his name? Epso. And then that bit when they were up in the place with the explosive atmosphere, and the remnants were circling them, and you heard the voice. Now that was creepy. I found that really creepy and really good. And of course, the cigar lighting, clicking the fingers, brilliant. And it goes, yeah, burns them all up. Excellent. Very cleverly done. I do love the bit where the TARDIS appears. I think, of course, everybody's going to know. Come to Daddy, Mummy. I love that. That was good fun. And yes, the expression on her face when she walked into the TARDIS was absolutely magical. She just couldn't believe it to start with. And you've redecorated. I like it, which is very unusual, because usually the doctor says, oh, you've redecorated. Don't like it. Whereas this time, but I find it, I don't know, perhaps it'll improve with lighting, but at the moment I find it very dark, and you cannot see any real detail very much. So perhaps they will improve the lighting on it, on it. I hope, because it looks pretty good. And I must confess, when the little thing came out with the custard cream in it, I just fell about laughing. It's so brilliant, and of course she was so thrilled to see it.
You had me thinking what you were talking about, but then when the little thing came out, I thought, what? Where's he going with this?
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I think with the TARDIS, we've only seen it at the very end. I mean, it was only on for a few minutes, so when it's got more screen time, they might, people might like it better. I love it, personally.
I mean,
But I have people complain it's too dark.
I don't even think I saw a scanner, like the screen scanner that the TARDIS normally has.
Yeah,
I don't know. We haven't seen much. I mean, it really was sort of chiaroscuro, half dark, half light, super shadow, super contrasty stuff. I think that they might raise the light level on the crystals to, illuminate the thing. I think that Beef Dad knows what's coming, and I'm excited. And so my favorite moment was the boat scene. I thought how amusing to be, like, on a pleasure boat traveling across a lake in another planet, sort of like on a holiday, a dangerous freaking holiday, but a holiday nevertheless. And so
I feel like singing that Cliff Richard song now. We're all going on a summer holiday.
So without Cliff Richard, and I'm sorry, young ones, but without Cliff Richard, we're going to go on a holiday on a dead planet, and that's crazy. And there weren't any bugs, there weren't any birds, because there wasn't any life on that planet. So it was probably rather pleasant, no seagulls stealing your Sammies, or no bugs getting caught in your teeth, and a bunch of real, actually, strangers to each other. The two space travelers, the space racers. It was like Death Race 3000. Here they come upon robots and ribbon creatures that are gonna kill you all. Anyway, like that was crazy. And the stanza, that looming stanza thing and then they go on a boat ride, and they get to know each other a bit, and that's always great until one of them almost dies by the ribbon creatures. I don't know. It was pretty incredible. And so anyway, yeah, those are my favorite moments. Here's Alex.
Yeah, I just want to say, just quickly before we go to Alex, is that I like that there's actually an explanation why the planet is dead and lifeless, is because it was moved out of its original orbit, which is why obviously the Doctor and the companions, they did go to the right location, but the planet wasn't there. Yeah, so I really like there was that, because if we're knocked out of orbit, out of where we are in what they call the Goldilocks ring or whatever it's called. If we're knocked out of that, our planet would change.
And die. Yeah.
Yeah, our planet, well, it's dying anyway. It would die quicker. Let's get to Alex.
Well, as I said, I mean, I pretty much enjoy more of the dialogue than the actual plot. But as I said, favorite moments, what can we say? I don't know if I'd say favorite. I'd say likable moments. Art Malik.
It can't have been that bad, Alex.
Yeah, no, I just looking back at it, like I said, they have to change it because it's TV, and they probably only have 50 minutes, so they have to rush it. Like I said, the dialogue is good, the characters are good, even that jaded guy who said, I was in a tree and mother said to jump and she'd catch me, and then, she didn't, even though it was sort of a moral conundrum. I mean, yeah, there's a time to be self-sufficient and a time to take care of your own business and all that, but you don't have to be, a super mercenary about it. He's just kind of cruel. And I don't know if that was trying to be a little bit of a parable about, winning a race. You don't have to be a mercenary. You don't have to be cruel to win a race. But like I said, I don't know if that was to be moralistic or if that was just a point of view or just to show the characters. But it's so funny when Bradley's character, who is streetwise, even he says, wow, did you, were you that cruel? Were you born that cruel, or did you come on, suddenly? So it's kind of funny that even though he supposedly doesn't believe in, aliens and the supernatural, that even he was kind of going, oh, come on, Doc, because at one point she's, very despondent in a way and says, this was all for nothing. And he says, what's his name? What's the character's name? Bradley Walsh's character?
Graham.
When, when even he says, even you, Doc, is everybody warped and cruel? Don't give up, so it's kind of funny how, they came up with such a story and characters and dialogue that even he's going, come on. I don't want to be this nasty and warped. So that was kind of interesting to me. And I knew the TARDIS was coming because obviously, unless they're going to make it two-parter, and they said supposedly that this season, they weren't going to have any two-parters. So that might be good. That might be good not only for sales and digital sales, but also to make sure that, everybody tunes in each week and to make a change from the previous administration, so to speak, the previous producers, to have it more breakneck speed. But we're going to see in the next 3 episodes, how much character development, and as Al had said, if anybody's going to die toward the end of the series, which hopefully they won't. Hopefully they'll just, one of them will say, well, I'm done. But that's one of the reasons to watch the show, is to see the friends, not companions, but the friends, to see if they'll all stay together. Like I said, it was interesting when the, good grief, I'm forgetting all their names, the character names. When the African guy was like, oh, I've played Call of Duty. Well, it's not a video game, pal. That works in a video game. That doesn't work in real life, which I'm glad that they showed. I didn't like the screeching a little bit, but it was kind of funny how he was proven wrong. He thought he was being all aggressive and yippee-ki-yay from Die Hard, but he was proven wrong.
Well, that was the point, and the Doctor let him make that mistake, because if you don't make mistakes, you don't learn from them, do you? You've got to make mistakes to learn. So it's something he won't be so gung-ho, I won't think, in the future. Nobody's mentioned the intro, which I'm amazed about. Brian, what did you make of the intro?
There was an intro? I'm just kidding.
It was like a lava lamp.
I wanted to see your guys' reaction, though. I'm just kidding. No, I actually do like the intro. It kind of reminds me, well, with the intro and the end credits, it kind of reminded me of the classic days of Doctor Who, like kind of a little bit of, like, I would say, Pertwee or Tom Baker's era of Doctor Who, like with the opening credits. So that's another thing I'm glad that they are going back to. Like, it's with that, it's mostly going back to its old original roots of classic Who, at least one of the things that they're doing, and I really enjoy it and like it.
Yep, let's go to Beef Dad. What did you make of the titles, Beef Dad?
Love them. Absolutely love them. I mean, basically, he's taken the original and he's used it. As opposed to bringing in a dirty great big orchestra and lots of wind instruments, trumpets, and God knows what, which had got for me had gone a little bit over the top. It's now back to the slightly creepy start, which was something I always looked forward to right at the very beginning. And it stated Doctor Who. That was Doctor Who. It was totally and completely unmistakable for anything else. Completely original. And they've basically taken it back to that, which I think is very, very good. I think the guy, what's his name? Seguneki Akinola has done an absolutely brilliant job of it.
Yeah, no, fair play to him. He really has. He's knocked out at the park with this one. I mean, it's spine tingling. Your hairs stand on end, when you hear it, and it makes you pay attention. I think if you're doing something else and you hear that theme, whoever you are, you will look at it. It grabs you immediately. Let's go to Susan and Alex. See what they think. Were they grabbed?
Yeah,
this new
I like the lava lamp effects. I do like the liquid colorful blobs. I mean, to me it was very, very cool. I miss my lava lamp. It got stolen when I was moving to the east coast of the U.S. and I'm bummed out that I don't have my lava lamp anymore. But anyway, now I can just watch Doctor Who and enjoy that.
It's supposed to, well, I missed the middle age a little bit, but it's supposed to be the Doctor, not the eye doctor, with the visual effect. But it's okay. Like I said, they've
Are
changed.
we talking about the same thing?
Yeah,
Alex?
the lava lamp. Well, maybe some of us don't like lava lamps. I mean,
I don't think it's a lava lamp.
I'm just
It's not a
teasing.
lava lamp. It's
I'm
just
teasing.
classic intro.
I like it.
I'm just teasing. No, it is, pretty much the Troughton Pertwee era
Yeah.
of, and I think, as we've mentioned before, sort of going back to basics, erasing the previous way of doing things. I mean, it's still Doctor Who. The revival has been very successful, even in seasons where it's not doing so well. But hopefully it continues. We'll see how long she's around, Jodie Whittaker. But yeah, I mean, obviously they had to change it. They had to make it quicker. They added more friends or companions, as they used to call them. And, that's the point of the show, was that it was supposed to be scary. It was supposed to be behind the sofa. Even though you're with the doctor and how the persona, let me put it that way, the persona is supposed to reason and fight for justice and things like that. The point of the show was you were supposed to have a little bit of suspense and contrast and mystery as to how it was done. So, it's good that they're even though I don't like the TARDIS interior, I've always liked the TARDIS. So let's see if they keep it for as long as Jodie Whittaker is the doctor, or if they start modifying it a little bit.
She's going to be the doctor forever, Alex. Once you're the doctor, you're always the doctor. You never leave the role. Tom Baker's still the doctor. Paul McGann's still a doctor. Sylvester McCoy's still a doctor, and so on. You never leave the role. Does anybody want anything else to add before we go into final say and score? Nope. Well, we'll move into final say and score. Brian, what's your final say and score on the Ghost Monument?
Okay.
Right.
For the Ghost Monument.
Monument, not mummy.
I said monument. Monument.
You went mummy, the Ghost Monument.
My final say and score, I think, would probably have to be a 10 out of 10 TARDISes.
Wow. I'm glad you enjoyed it that much. I didn't think you were going to give it a 10. Let's get Beef Dad, since we've been going in this order.
Good evening. Excellent performances. In spite of Alex, I loved the story. I think it was very cleverly written, brilliantly executed by the cast, the lighting, everything. It was just so good. 10 out of 10.
2 10s in a row. Let's see what Alex and Susan are going to give. Is it going to be a full house? I'm not sure if Alex,
Well, I'll give it a 10 myself because really excellent story and some really quality moments, and I'm enjoying this, and if I have to wait again for another year after this series is done, I'll be beside myself again. So, I mean, it's just so good to have Doctor Who back. Okay, I've said it, but yeah, and great use of ribbon creatures. They looked properly dangerous, just as they should, actually, just as they, the folklore in the Far East says that they are. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, I'm going to give this an 8, primarily for the cast and the dialogue. Like I said, I don't like the plot, but that's okay. I mean, again, can we even get Doctor Who fans to agree on stories or producers or whatever? Everybody likes certain things.
They're all wonderful. All the producers ever are wonderful.
Yeah. He doesn't.
I love them all. I love them all.
To let you know, dear viewers, he doesn't really mean that.
How dare you say that?
I got one word for you, Moffat.
Where? Yeah, I don't love them all, Alex. Let's not go down that route. Yeah, for me, I thought it's a really strong episode again. Chibnall knows how to write characters. It feels very 1963 Doctor Who. It really does. I mean, the whole structure of it, it feels very classic Who. They could easily be Ian, Barbara, Susan, and the Doctor, really, on an adventure. Feels very, very classic Who. And that's what Chibnall wanted to go for, because that's his favourite era, which is the William Hartnell era. So you can see the inspiration he's had with this, and hopefully, who knows, he might bring some characters back from that era because he's such a fan of it. So why wouldn't he? Susan, hey?
Now, don't tease me, Alan. That's not fair.
But he's such a fan of that era, and he's building up the Doctor's family. This series is all about family, friends, and family.
All right. Well, if this is teasing,
Chibnall is building this story up to go somewhere.
All right.
He plans out his seasons, unlike some other showrunners we could mention. Hey, Alex. Chibnall knows how to build a series up, so I think he's dropping like in the first episode, the Doctor talks about her family. I think it's Yaz who asks her, "Have you got any family?" And the idea of them being friends and stuff like that.
And she uses the same phrase she used with Zoe or Victoria. Somebody asked if she had like family, and she said, "Yes, I keep them in my mind." When it was Patra.
Oh yes, I remember now. Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah. No, so yes, I'm gonna give it a 9. I don't think it was as good as last week's. I mean, the first episode. I thought that was really spot on. I mean, the only thing that really drawed this episode back, I think, is that nobody died. Sorry, I like it when people die in Doctor Who. I like to see people die in Doctor Who.
But the whole planet had died. Everybody had died.
Yeah, you could argue that. That's a fair argument. Yeah, that's a fair argument.
You can raise it back up.
Yeah, we saw no one physically die, though. I like to see people physically die.
Well,
Doctor. That's a statistic, doesn't it? I like to see people physically die.
What was that about?
Brian's just woken up to hear me say that. No, I mean, like, he saw it like Salad Man. Like, it's not a gruesome death, but you just know that they're dead.
Salad Man?
In the first episode, Brian.
Oh, I thought you meant like the salad as in food.
Yeah, Brian. Okay. You go back to bed. Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for that. Because I don't think it was the strongest episode. I don't think it was stronger than last week's, and we still got the rest of the series to go. So tell us below what you made of the Ghost Monument. Hit that subscribe button to watch more videos like this. If you want to see more of Brian. God help you. Look after yourself. Take care, and we will see you next time.